All right, let's talk about skin protection. For years, we've been told one thing: protect your skin from the sun. Simple, right? But what if that's only a tiny piece of the puzzle? Today, we're going to dive into a totally new way of looking at this, a concept we're calling Sololite 360. So, let's get into it.
So let me ask you something. When you think skin protection, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably sunlight, right? A day at the beach, maybe a walk in the park. If that's you, you're not alone. That's what most of us think. But you might be missing the real story.
And this here really starts to paint that bigger picture. See, if you're only focused on the sun, you're missing what we call the real 360-degree exposure. Take a look at those little icons in the circle. Yeah, the sun is there for sure. But you've also got a city, a car, even a clock. This is a huge hint that our entire environment and even our daily schedule is part of the problem.
Okay, so let's really unpack this. This whole idea of the real 360-degree exposure is all about realizing that the things that can damage our skin are literally all around us all the time. It's not just about that 1 hour you spend outside in the direct sun. It's so much more than that.
And here it is, the main idea right here. 360-degree exposure is basically the combined day-in, day-out impact of three big things: UV rays, environmental stress, and our modern urban lifestyle. So let's break each one of those down one by one. Okay, first up, UV radiation. This is the one everybody knows, right? It's the classic villain, the reason we all started using sunscreen in the first place. This is our baseline, you could say, but it's really just part one of a much bigger story.
All right, part two. Environmental stress. Now, this is the invisible factor that so many of us just completely forget about. It's like this constant, low-level attack from the world around us, especially if you live or work in a city.
And finally, part three is what we call urban lifestyle exposure. And this one is all about how we actually live our lives every day. We're talking about our commutes, our routines, even how much time we spend in front of a screen. It all adds up, and it all puts a burden on our skin.
Okay, so let's dig a little deeper into that environmental stress part, because these really are the invisible attackers we need to know about. I mean, what are we actually talking about when we say that? Well, we're talking about real everyday stuff, like the pollution from city traffic that you're breathing in and walking through on your way to work. We're talking about industrial emissions and those teeny tiny airborne particles that are just everywhere in modern life. These things create a really tough environment for our skin, and it goes way beyond just UV rays.
Now let's see how this gets even more intense when we add our lifestyle to the mix. Because this isn't just about being outside. Nope. This is an all-day reality that literally follows you from the moment you wake up until you go to sleep. Just think about a totally normal day, right? At 8 a.m., you're on your morning commute, stuck in traffic, surrounded by pollution. Then at 1 p.m., you pop outside for lunch. Boom! You get a dose of UV and more city air. 6 p.m., it's the journey home, another round of the same stuff. And hey, even at 9 p.m. when you're relaxing, you might be looking at your phone or laptop dealing with blue light. You see, the exposure is basically constant.
So when you realize you're facing this constant 360-degree exposure, it becomes super clear that our old ways of defending ourselves just aren't cutting it. Our whole defense system needs to evolve. We need a new kind of protection that gets this new reality.
And this is the absolute key takeaway. That traditional approach, just slapping on some sunscreen when it's sunny, it's just not enough anymore. It's kind of like bringing an umbrella to a meteor shower. Sure, it'll protect you from the rain, but you're totally missing the bigger threats coming from all directions.
So here's the bottom line. The future of skincare isn't just about blocking the sun. It's about a complete 360-degree defense, a shield against UV, against environmental pollution, and against the stresses of our modern lifestyle. It's about getting comprehensive protection because, well, we live comprehensive lives.
And that really leaves us with one final and I think really important question to ask yourself. Take a look at your own routine, your own day. Is your skincare really protecting you from your entire world? Or is it still just protecting you from the sun?